In this series, as you know, I've been talking to execs around our industry about the impacts of the pandemic on their abilities to do marketing and do it well. Most of those have been general conversations, great, but in this particular occasion, I'm joined by Caitlin Gordon from Dell Technologies. Hi, Caitlin.
Hello.
Particularly pleased to have you with me because, of course, just yesterday, as we record this, you had a major launch of the new Power Store product. Now, that's not just any old product, it's a product from Dell Technologies, and it's a very important product for the company. So I'm particularly interested to talk to you about the challenges. I mean, obviously the day at which you get to the launch is probably a year or two into the actual activities that surround that. And just in the last few weeks, a lot of things were thrown up. That's what we're mainly going to talk on, but go on, I'll give you the first 20 or 30 seconds just to do a quick promo for what the product actually is.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mark. Yeah, yesterday we announced Power Store. As you said, long time in the making for us and really exciting. And Power Store is pretty unique. It's pretty unique as a Fortune 500 company that you build something from the ground up. And it's truly a modern infrastructure platform. Probably the most exciting thing for us is that it's built to meet our customers' needs today, but more importantly, it can help evolve with them as their businesses transform. So you can obviously go read a whole lot more about it, but it's really is an exciting announcement for us. And yesterday was different than we anticipated, but an exciting day nonetheless.
Just a few weeks ago, clearly the tools you thought you would have in order to achieve this launch changed dramatically. So talk a little bit about which levers, which tools you kept, which disappeared, which changed, and basically how that impacted the launch.
Yeah, it's been an interesting ride here. We expected to have tools like a big keynote stage and our biggest executives out there to announce it, and actual physical equipment and actual real people all in the same room together. We had none of that. But at the same time, we were building content very digital first. We had 40 videos already created for this launch. That our interactions with folks like yourself and the press all can still happen. The coverage can still happen from a press perspective. And there was no other announcements yesterday. So we actually were able to take advantage of an environment that was completely unanticipated. We lost some things that we couldn't replace, like interaction with our customers, but we also were able to accomplish something we maybe wouldn't have if we were all in Vegas together. So it was different, but I think we were surprisingly really happy with what happened yesterday in light of the challenges that we faced.
Did you just have to cut back and change, or were there some tools, some processes, some things, for want of a better word, that you introduced that you're really glad you did and you might keep in the future?
Yeah, it's interesting because we had from the start an approach with this launch to be very PDF light, very video heavy. We even tripled down on that in the last month to make sure that we would have that experience. And I can't see us ever going back from that perspective. What we found is the interactions we've even had with our hands-on lab, virtual, online, has been fantastic. Well over 100 in the first 24 hours, great reception. I think even if and when we go back to announcing things in physical locations, having that type of digital experience is so important, because not everyone could be at that event anyway. We can create such a great experience online, independent, but it also could complement what we would do in a physical event as well. So I see us really being able to continue that. And it's exciting because some ways we were forced to do this, but I think in the end, we're going to learn a lot of exciting things out of it.
Any things you really missed? I mean, obviously the physical event in Vegas is the obvious one, but anything else you just had to drop and you can't wait to get back?
Not a lot, to be perfectly honest. I think the biggest impact of not having the physical event wasn't the big stage. It kind of takes the energy out of it to some extent, but I wouldn't say that's the biggest one. The biggest loss for us was really not being able to see and interact with folks like yourself and other people in the industry and our customers, and get that live energy from them and be able to kind of experience that all together and go to one of the great Vegas bars afterwards together. I think that's probably one of the big things we missed.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's interesting you talk about that interaction. I just want to come away from the launch for my final question, but the interaction is interesting. I think for people who know each other, it's relatively easy to maintain that via tools like this. Obviously, striking up new relationships is more difficult, not impossible, but more difficult. But all the comments you've made so far, do those all reflect upon your job in general right now? Or is there any difference because, and obviously the daily job is not all about, razzmatazz and launching things. There's a lot of hard work behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, I've even had a new hire start in the last 3 weeks, right? Think about being a new hire in this climate and new hire to Dell from another company. And onboarding someone in that climate has been really, I think, more challenging on his side than on mine. But we've also found in 2.5, 3 weeks through Zoom and text and phone calls that we still are able to ramp quickly and build that trust relationship between us, but even just across all the stakeholders. And that's something that I wouldn't have guessed we could actually do in this kind of climate. So I'm grateful this all happens in 2020 when we have all these great tools to be able to do that. But it's unpredictable. Things like the fact that I have now a studio in my home office to do videos like with yourself is something I would not have thought we would ever be doing. But turns out we can get a whole lot done from our homes. So.
Thank you very much for your insights. I was a bit nervous when we booked this on the day after the official launch, but it must have gone okay because we're talking today. So congratulations on getting it done. Thank you very much for that. And thank you everyone for watching.